Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, guys. Hope you're doing well and enjoying the journey of learning in Tabarak Academy channel. Today, to be continued with the beneficial topics we're talking about related to Aqeedah, we're going to talk today, inshallah, about monotheism, at-tawheed. So we want to try to know a few points about that so you could be having a complete understanding of what it is and how to get a benefit of the monotheism or the tawheed. Firstly, what is monotheism? What is the tawheed? Tawheed is to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and oneness. So believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He is the only God. He is the only trustworthy of worship subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no other gods, and they're all basically, they're claiming to be gods. None of them actually has the worthy of worship. If you think why, because the God has to be with certain qualities and sifat and attributes. So when you look at Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's attributes, He's the creator, He's the designer, He's the manager of everything. He's the provider of sustenance, rizq. He's the one who created you from nothing. He is taking care of this and here and this. You remember? Remember the last story and the last things? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's monotheism is definitely linked to His being God. And that shows the importance of monotheism. The importance of monotheism, that when you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you worship Him alone. You're calling Him alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're doing this alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're calling Him, worshiping Him, praying to Him, giving zakah for the sake of Him alone subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the monotheism has a great importance in your ibadah, in your worship, practice, active worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why it has to be included in your salah. It has to be included in your siyam. And that's why it makes it really fundamentally important to be accepted. Also, what is the evidence of the monotheism? Well, there are a lot of multiple evidence in the monotheism or the tawheed in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ Allahu samad. Say, Allah is talking to the Prophet. Say He is the one. He is the perfect, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He never begats, nor is begotten, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah said, وَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهُ وَاحِدٌ. And your God, your Lord is one Lord, one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah multiple verses, and also the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, خَيْرُ مَا قُلْتُ أَنَا وَالنَّبِيُّونَ مِنْ قَبْلِ. The best supplication I've ever said. And also the other prophets before me, لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا اللَّهُ وَحْدَهُ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ. There is no deity, basically, trustworthy of worship except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La sharika, there is no partner with Him. But here the question comes, after showing the importance and all of that, how would I carry out the monotheism in my life? Well, you could basically apply the monotheism in three things. In your dua, calling Allah alone subhanahu wa ta'ala, not calling to the graves or whatever, Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, worshiping Him alone. In your basically prayer, your salah, you're not showing off, you're doing your salah. Once you start your salah, your main intention is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Third thing, also, in your deeds, being humble, being modest, being good with people, that also makes you basically applying this. The last thing I want to share is the story to tell you about the importance and also the evidence and everything about monotheism, which is the Prophet Noah's story. Prophet Noah, alayhi salam, peace be upon him. We all know the Prophet Noah, who was basically among people, they were all idol worshippers. And he kept calling them for Allah's oneness, subhanahu wa ta'ala, for 950 years. And none of them believed in Him except so little. And after it was declared, announced that no one is going to be believing more than that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the Prophet Noah that لَن يُؤْمِنَ مِنْ قَوْمِكَ إِلَّا مَنْ قَدْ آمَنَ. There is no one is going to be believing in you, no more than the people who believe. So Allah told him about the flood and everything, and the people they flooded, and his son and his wife, they were one of the wrongdoers. And the people who believed in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they were the surviving. So the moral of the story, they survived, as you know, in the ark and everything. So the moral of the story is the people who believe in the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're going to be among who survives. So that's why believing in the monotheism of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, make you survive. Why? Because He trusts this, He deserves this subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why monotheism and tawheed makes you survive and makes it actually more logical that you believe in Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the one who's providing me the sustenance. He is basically trusted worship. He created this and this and this. What else could be worshipped except Him subhanahu wa ta'ala? Thank you so much for this, and I hope you really get in the benefit of that. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum.